Hi, welcome to another episode of Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Animal wrangling for us is our volunteer coordinator, Sean Snyder. And our first guest is Deli, and she is full of energy. She is actually one of our mama cats. So she just recently came back from foster care where she had been caring for her kittens. There were 5 of them. They are still currently in foster care. They're just a little too young to come back and be adopted just yet. So when we have our animals go into foster care, the foster care providers get to name them. So this is the mama cat, and she is Deli, as in delicatessen, as in a sandwich shop. And apparently all of her kittens have names of things that you can find in a deli. So that's kind of the themed name. Because she is a cat that has been in foster care, we know a little bit more about her than maybe we would some of the other cats on the adoption floor. So obviously she's used to being around her kittens, but then once they started weaning her and the kittens off of her, she was able to roam the entire house, and she got along well with her foster family's cat named Hitch. So she is used to living with another adult cat and didn't have any issues there. Apparently she likes to be carried around. She loves head rubs, she purrs easily, she wants to be with you, and they also say that she's very chatty, which is something that has been evident from the moment she went onto the adoption floor. She is a vocal cat, so if you want somebody that you're gonna always know is around, then maybe Deli would be great. If you're looking for a cat that's more quiet, then she might not be the right fit for you, because she makes her presence known. Fun fact for me, but to some people might be something that is more concerning, is that sometimes she gets into food. It says here that she stole bread and butter off the counter and then tried to feed it to her kittens when her foster family was weaning her kittens. I think that's cute. I think it's lots of character. If you are really concerned about cats getting on countertops, and if you leave, bags of chips and stuff out that she might get into, maybe Deli might not be the best fit for you, or you might need to think about kind of restructuring some of the things you do in your house so that everybody can coexist, and you don't have to worry about the cat getting into cabinets and things like that. If you're interested in Deli, you can visit with her here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. She is in our greeter cage. She is the first cat that you will meet. Our next guest is Blue, and he is about 8 years old, so he is one of our seniors, so he would qualify for a $20 reduction in his adoption fee just because he's between the ages of 5 and 9. And then if you were to adopt him during the month of February, you would also get an additional $14 off, because that's our promo for this month. So you really can't beat what you're going to get for that adoption fee. We make sure that the animals are current on all their vaccinations, that they're spayed or neutered before they're adopted out, they're microchipped, they get well visits to the vet, so that and so much more. So you really just can't beat it. This guy was previously owned. He was brought to us because his owner, after having him for about 4 years, said that she just couldn't afford to have a pet in the house anymore. So he was brought to us so that we could rehome him. They did give us a lot of great information about Blue. They say that he would do better in a home without another cat, but he's fine with dogs. We have a lot of people who are coming in who have dogs and they want a cat that's going to get along. So this is a good option for you. But like some of the other cats on the floor, Macy, for example, would do best as an only cat. Doesn't mean you can't have another pet. It just means that they would prefer to be the only cat in the household. It says that he does sometimes claw at the rugs, but he is quickly redirected. They were only cleaning his litter box out weekly. You should clean that out daily. And another thing about Blue is that he is a little bit overweight. So here in our facility, we have started him on a diet so that he can get down to a healthy weight. Anyone who would adopt Blue would need to make sure that they're talking to their vet and keeping him on an appropriate diet and exercise plan so that he can get down to a healthy weight, and then continue to keep it so that he's maintaining that healthy weight, which means not a lot of extra treats and things for Blue. If you're interested in him, you can visit him here at the shelter. We are open to the public 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. two is better than one, or so they say, and these next guests would do better in a home together than separately. These guys are Addison and Amelia. So sitting on Sean's lap is Amelia, and she's about 4 years old, and then I have Addison, and she is about 2 years old. They lived in a home together, but unfortunately, the owner just was unable to care for all of the pets, and so had to bring some of them in so that we could find them nice, loving second homes. These guys are Torbies, which means they have that tortoise shell coloring, but they have some tabby cat stripes in there as well. You can see the flakes of like orange patches and stuff that are not typical of a brown tabby. They also have incredibly soft fur, both of them. So they have a lot of great qualities. They are a little shy here in the shelter, but they have lived in a home with other cats, and they've also lived in a home with dogs of varying sizes, as well as some small animals. So they would do well in any type of home environment. The shelter can be a little scary, and sometimes when they're warming up into a new situation, it might take them a couple of days to feel comfortable, and then they'll be, super sweet and loving and things like that. One of the staff did say that one of them was a little less inclined to enjoy being picked up. I can't remember which one it is at the moment, but something to keep in mind. Not all cats like to be picked up and carried around and things of that nature. So these guys are not listed as bonded, which means they have to be adopted together. They're listed as better together. So it is our preference that they be adopted as a pair. A lot of people like to adopt two cats, and it's, because people want them to be friends and they want them to hang out and cuddle, and these guys do that, and you know that you're going to get two cats that get along if you were adopting ones that are already familiar with each other. If you're mixing and matching, then you might get some cats that, while they're great cats, they just don't go together very well, and they fight and smack each other, and they don't want to hang out and cuddle and play, and that's generally not what people are hoping for. So if you were to adopt the two of them together, you would also get a $20 reduction in your total adoption fee. So if you're interested in Addison and Amelia, you can visit them at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. We don't have a ton of kittens right now, but there are some that are still lingering, and one of them is Habana. We've had her for a little while, and she quickly got an app and was scheduled to be adopted, but unfortunately she got sick. And what sometimes happens is some of the adopters don't want to treat that animal in their house, which is okay, but then sometimes they don't also want to wait while we treat them here. Unfortunately, that application fell off, and now she is healthy and looking for another potential new family. She's about 5 to 6 months old. She's a little petite. Usually the 5 to 6 month old ones are a little bit bigger. So she's going to have that, probably a nice smaller frame to her. She is a beautiful cat. She is very outgoing, very friendly. That's what led her to get an application so quickly when she originally came out on the adoption floor. But right now there were a couple other kittens on the adoption floor, ones that weren't black, ones that were torties and orange and white, and everybody really gravitated towards those. And unfortunately, Habana hasn't gotten any interest. So despite the fact that she's, super friendly, typical kitten, she's still looking for her forever family. Black cats and black animals in general often have a harder time getting adopted because there are some of those stereotypical things about them, superstitious. There are just generally more of them. There are less things that make them stand out amongst all the other pets. And sometimes they blend in with the dark cages and beds and rugs and things like that that are in their environment. So this is a great opportunity to showcase Habana here on the show today. All of our kittens are adopted for $97.50. That covers all of the spay or neuter surgery, all of their vaccinations, microchipping, dewormer, flea and tick preventative, a well visit to the vet, as well as their county license. So you really are not going to get a better deal. If you are interested in Habana, you can visit her here at the shelter, but don't be disappointed if somebody else snaps her up. Kitten season is just around the corner, and we will have plenty of kittens for everyone who wants to make one part of their family. Our last feline guest today is Coda. He's about 2 years old. He is a domestic shorthair. He's kind of a long and tall guy with those big tomcat cheeks. We will make sure that he is neutered before he goes to his new forever home. He was unfortunately surrendered because his owner was moving, and the place where she was moving to doesn't allow pets. And she'd only had Coda for about 6 months. She had gotten him from a friend. But she did provide us with some great information about how he behaved. She says that he is been around children of a variety of ages. He's calm, able to handle, friendly. She says that he is a lap cat, and he did kind of settle in a little bit on Sean's lap. But we've also noticed that he does not enjoy being in his cage. He wants to get out and explore. So he has a sign that reminds people, like, be careful, I like to go exploring. So that they're aware, so that he doesn't jump out of his cage on someone by surprise. She says that he is super sweet and lovable, and that he sleeps with her at night. And a lot of people like that about a cat. They want a cat that's going to sleep on their bed at night or cuddle with them. And we can't make any guarantees that those are things that our animals are going to do, especially since most of them are stray. But because he has lived in a home, we know that that is something that he's likely to do. So it's something that he's more likely to do in your home as well, if that's what you're looking for. They did not say how he was with other animals, so we're not sure if he's going to do well with other cats or with dogs, things of that nature. During our adoption interview process, we will go over how to introduce any animal that you were to adopt to other existing pets in your household. But there's never a 100% guarantee. You just want to take it nice and slow, and remember that as long as the animals are not hurting each other, they're just peacefully coexisting, that's okay. They don't have to be best friends like Amelia and Addison, who like to sit together and play together and groom each other. That's not a kind of a requirement for a positive, successful integration of a new pet into your home. Because Coda is an adult cat, he would be adopted for that standard $97.50 adoption fee, and you can visit him here at the shelter. Our visiting hours are Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturdays from 10 to 4. We have been a little low on dogs lately, but after the break, we do have a couple of dogs that we're going to introduce you to, as well as some representatives from our small animal room.
Homegrown here is the tagline for fresh fruits, vegetables, and farm-raised products grown locally in Frederick County, Maryland. There are many places available to buy fresh, local products. Several locations offer their products at their farm market, while others use the 14 farmers markets around the county. To find out when and where these markets are available, visit www.discoverfrederickmd.com or call 301-600-1058 and ask about our agriculture industry. Remember, fresh, high-quality farm-raised products are homegrown here in Frederick County.
Welcome back. Our first dog today is Lola, and she's between 7 and 8 months old. And when we're getting puppies in the shelter, most frequently we get them about this age range, that 6 to 10 months old, because people get puppies when they're really cute, and then they realize how much work they are, and that they need training, and that costs money, and they need extra vaccines, and they need all of these things, and they they just aren't prepared for that, so then they want to bring the dogs back to us. Unfortunately, Lola has not learned some of the things that a lot of dogs learn when they're significantly younger, so she's going to need a family that's going to be really patient with her. She's a little shy, so she needs a little socialization, so she needs to learn that the world is not as scary as she might think. She needs to get used to being around other people and different types of objects and noises and things like that. But she also still needs to be housebroken. So we definitely need a family with her that is committed to doing that training process and is going to be okay with a couple of accidents while she's learning. According to the previous owner, she has gotten along well with other dogs, and we have seen that here in this environment. We've not had issues with her and the other dogs in the kennels. But she can be, they say, a little food possessive around other dogs. I'm not sure exactly what they're referring to, but anytime you have multiple dogs in a situation and there's food, you want to try to keep them separated and feed separately. That's always our recommendation. Not just throwing treats on the ground when there are multiple dogs around. That's just going to lead to a situation where they're going to try to fight over that resource. So being vigilant and being responsible when there's food and multiple dogs around is just going to be something that you would need to do regardless, with any dog that you're associated with. She has lived with 2 cats in the household, so a lot of people come in and they're like, I really want a dog, but I have a cat. I want to make sure that it's not going to be an issue. She was successfully able to live with 2 cats, so that's something that you might keep in mind if you are looking at Lola's profile and you have a cat in your household. They say that she's calm, she's playful, energetic, friendly, walks on a leash, used to nail trims, vet visits, all those types of things. They do say she's a chewer. A lot of dogs are. You just want to redirect that behavior to appropriate items that they can chew on. Here in this environment, we've not had any issues with food aggression. She likes to be petted. She's friendly. She reacts well to the other dogs. When you're walking past her kennel, she's super friendly, but when you try to leash her up, she does get a little nervous, takes some coaxing, and she's typical pit bull. She pulls on her leash, she jumps, things like that. She has a lot of good qualities, but she also needs somebody that's going to be committed to training her. Because she is a puppy, she would be adopted for our $150 puppy adoption fee. This is Kaya, and she is about a year old. She is a red and white pit bull mix, and she came to us as a stray. We hold all of our strays for 5 days to give owners a chance to come forward and claim their animals. Unfortunately, no one has come forward for her, so we are now looking to find her a new forever family. We behavior assess all of our dogs before they go on the adoption floor to make sure that they're going to be safe and we're going to be able to find homes for them. Sometimes rescue situations might actually be better because they can provide them with specialized training, or maybe provide animals with a lot more medical needs, those needs much quicker than we might be able to do. According to our assessment of her, Kaya does not keep her kennel clean. That could be just because she knows it's a kennel, or it could be because she still needs to be housebroken. So that's something to consider. Anytime you adopt a dog from us, we don't say that it's housebroken. We want you to assume that you're going to have to put a little bit of training in that area. She's very friendly when you approach her kennel. She gets excited, she jumps and barks, she play bows and gets excited when she sees other dogs. She is sometimes easy to obtain, sometimes takes a little bit of coaxing with new people when they're trying to get her out of her kennel. She can be a little nervous at times, but she can also be your typical pit bull who likes to pull really hard on a leash. She doesn't have really any issues with food aggression. She willingly lets go of some objects, others, depending on, how important it is to her, she reluctantly gives it up when asked. According to some of the volunteers, she does like to play fetch, so she does enjoy playing with toys. She is great with being petted. She apparently likes butt scratches enough for them to note it on her paperwork. But they did say that she is sweet, but she's kind of nervous and she's very headstrong. So she needs someone that's really going to be able to train her and set boundaries with her so that she, doesn't think that she's in charge of the household. This is Canelo, and he has actually been available for adoption since December. And you might say, well, I come to the shelter all the time. I haven't seen him. That's because Shortly after he arrived, we did a Home for the Holidays foster program during Christmas time, and Canelo went to live with a foster family, and they liked the idea of being able to provide a home environment for a dog until the dog got adopted. So his foster family decided that they would just continue to foster him until we found him a permanent forever home. The benefits of this are great. We have more space in the kennels for other potential dogs that need that. And we get to learn a lot about Canelo from his foster family, and he gets to learn a lot from them. So they have posted on his Facebook page, they give us updates on his profile picture on our Facebook page when he learns new things. So right now, he has been living in a home with a 5-year-old female pit bull mix, and they play together and they interact very nicely with one another. They say that Canelo is incredibly sweet. He always wants to cuddle and is eager to please. He is house trained, and they say that he does well in the kennel during the day while they're at work. He knows sit and shake, and they have since then taught him some additional things. They have taught him go to bed, which means he needs to go and get in his kennel. He knows stay and come and down. He is a dog that knows that he needs to sit before you put the food bowl down, before you put his leash and harness on. He knows that he is supposed to sit and wait for you to open a door and encourage, and then tell him that he needs to go through. He is apparently super smart, they say. He loves to wrestle and play fetch. He even brings the ball back instead of just waiting for you to throw something else. And he really likes to snuggle. So we have learned a lot about Canelo from his foster family, and we will continue to do so until we can find him a forever family. Because he generally is not in the shelter, if you're interested in meeting Canelo, you want to give us a call. Our number is 301-600-1546, and let the staff know that you're interested in meeting him so we can set up a time for his foster family to bring him into the shelter. Because he is an adult dog, he too would be adopted for that $92.50 adoption fee. We've been pretty consistently having about 8 rabbits on the adoption floor. Every time we seem to adopt one out, another one pops back in. So one of the rabbits that we're going to showcase today is Oreo, and Oreo is probably the largest rabbit on the adoption floor. We have him listed as her as a checkered giant. There are a variety of large breed rabbits out there. The one that I'm generally most familiar with is the Flemish giant. Rabbits come in different breeds, just like dogs or cats, and we have a variety on the adoption floor right now. In addition to Oreo, who is, as we've discussed, is a checkered giant, we have some Rex mixes, Lionhead mixes, American mixes, Californian mixes. So all of them have different types of personalities, different types of colors and markings, and different textures of their fur. Just depends on what you're most interested in. Regardless of what breed you might be interested in, you really want to make sure you're just doing some general rabbit research before you take on a bunny as a pet. The previous owner on this rabbit took in Oreo because it was abandoned by the former owners. They only had it for a couple months, and the reason they surrendered it is because they said it's been challenging to care for. A lot of people don't realize how much care rabbits really need. This rabbit has not been handled pretty much ever until it came to the shelter. So if you don't handle your rabbits, then they become less handleable. So you need to make sure that you're giving all of the rabbits attention, affection, exercise time. You need to make sure that you're providing them excuse me, with all of their different types of food needs. They need their pellets, and they need hay, and they need veggies daily. You need to make sure that you're bunny proofing your house. Just putting a rabbit in a hutch and leaving it is not really the best lifestyle for them. They need a little bit more than that. So you want to make sure that you are prepared to take on all of that and not just wanting to have a cute rabbit in your household. Our rabbits are adopted for a fee of $50 because we do make sure that all of them are spayed or neutered before they leave this facility. If you're interested in Oreo, you can visit her here at the shelter, 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our last guest today is the last guinea pig that we have available for adoption right now. This is Louis, or Lewis, depending on how you want to pronounce it. He's a 1.5-year-old black guinea pig, and he was brought to us because his owner had him for about a year and then said that there were some lifestyle changes and they no longer wanted to care for him. So he's here looking for another family. Just like when we talked about with the rabbits, it's important to handle these animals. The previous owner said that he was wild and he was active and independent, and that could be true to a certain extent, but a lot of guinea pigs aren't super comfortable being picked up at first, and they kind of run away from your hand and but once you pick them up, they're like what Louis is doing right now. He's just kind of relaxing, being petted. They like to be around their people. They are social animals, but we need to get them comfortable with that. So if you just leave him in his cage all day, he's not going to get used to being handled. So he's going to become more fearful of that. So you want to make sure that you are committed to not only just providing them with proper food and living space, but that you are giving them the attention that they really need. A lot of guinea pigs do better with a friend. They are animals that are herd animals, they're prey animals, so they enjoy having somebody to kind of watch their back. They like to talk to each other and hang out. If you are getting a guinea pig as a singleton, like Louis is right now, and you want to integrate them, you have to do it slowly. You can't just take a new guinea pig home and put it in the cage with an existing guinea pig. You need to start with separate cages that are next to each other and supervised playtime, and then as they get more comfortable, you can house them together. You do want to make sure that you are doing that with guinea pigs that are of the same gender. Otherwise, you will end up with probably more guinea pigs than you were planning on. Our guinea pigs here are adopted for a fee of $10. If you were to adopt two, we do 2 for $15. And you can see Louis here in our small animal room Monday through Saturday. We hope you enjoyed meeting some of the adoptable pets that we have here today. They are, as always, just a sampling. If you didn't see something that you might want to make part of your family, stop into the shelter and visit. You might see something while you're wandering around. Our visiting hours are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturdays from 10 to 5. Thanks for watching. We hope you tune in again next week for Pet Pals.
Each year, the Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center serves thousands of animals in the community while working toward its mission, work that wouldn't be possible without the help of the many dedicated volunteers who donate their time to the division.
We utilize volunteers for foster care, working at the front desk, helping with events, in our in-house spay-neuter clinic. So volunteers come in and they have the ability to help with all aspects of shelter operations, but in the beginning, all start out at the same point. So the different programs specifically for volunteers typically in-house involves them socializing with animals. We at times have animals that live here over 100 days. So it's important that people come in and take dogs out for walks and play with them. It's important that cats have time maybe outside of their cage a little bit, but then also people are spending time petting them.
Frederick County Animal Control can never have too many volunteers. So if you're interested in taking the next step, here's what you need to know.
We basically ask that you be at least 10 years of age. So anyone who's 10 or older can volunteer with us. If you're between 10 years and 14 years of age, you do have to come with a parent or guardian who is also considered a trained volunteer. At 15, you can volunteer independently. So what we ask of volunteers is that you're able to participate in the program for at least 4 hours a month, and you visit us twice a month. So you can volunteer more than that, but that is the minimum for you to stay an active volunteer.
For more information on how you can become involved in the Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center, visit frederickcountymd.gov/FCAC and click on the volunteer link, or contact Sean Snyder by email at ssnyder@frederickcountymd.gov or by phone at 301-600-1546.